Who is the villain of Deadpool 3? This is probably the biggest question about the film. It's something that the leakers and scoopers have been teasing us with. But after hours of research and talking with tons of people behind the scenes, I think I figured it out, and it's Miss Minutes. But wait, because it's actually way more complicated than it just being Miss Minutes, because I also think it's going to be the Illuminati, and I basically believe that the multiversal war that was promised to happen again at the end of Loki Season 1 is happening. That's what's going on. So in this video, we got to talk about the leaks for Deadpool 3. We got to talk about the leaks for Loki Season 2, and I got to explain why the multiversal war has started, and it's Miss Minutes who started it. Now, as we're getting into this, I just want to mention that we need to take all of this with a massive grain of salt. Not only are we in the midst of this massive strike, and it's very possible that a lot of things will change for Marvel after this strike is finished, but we're also dealing with secondhand rumors, leaks, what people are talking about, and a lot of that stuff can change. I'm trying as best as I can to not repeat what happened with Multiverse of Madness, which was, everybody getting really excited about all the rumors, leaks, and speculation, and then being somewhat underwhelmed by what was actually delivered in the movie. Still, I think it's pretty obvious that Deadpool 3 is going to be a very hyped up film with a ton of cameos. It feels like a spiritual successor to Multiverse of Madness and to No Way Home, and the crazy multiverse stuff that was happening in those movies. So I think it's absolutely correct to be very excited for Deadpool 3. I think it's going to be a huge hit for Marvel, and I think it's going to really push the multiverse story forward as we get towards the Kang Dynasty and Secret War. All right, so let's talk about villains in the movie, all right? Because this is wild. Now, I want to take you back to one of the first leaks ever about Deadpool 3, and this was a report that really blew the internet up. Jeff Snyder reported last year that Owen Wilson and Tara Strong as Miss Minutes were both going to be in Deadpool 3. Maybe you remember this story breaking, and frankly, the Owen Wilson bit got way more attention. A lot of people were focused on that, not only because it's freaking awesome, because Owen Wilson's great as Agent Mobius, but because that is the direct tie to the TVA. That's TVA from Loki Season 1 being a big part of Deadpool 3. So right away, we had this idea of Deadpool 3 that was like, wow, they're going to mess with the multiverse. But if you go back and actually watch what Jeff was talking about in his first report, he also indicates that Tara Strong as Miss Minutes is going to be in the movie, and that essentially the movie is going to be Deadpool versus the TVA. However, as I'm sure most of you are aware, some of the more recent leaks have it looking like Deadpool and Wolverine are going to be working with the TVA, in particular Agent Paradox, played by Matthew McFadden. And so you might be asking yourself, well, which one is it? Is Deadpool going to be working with the TVA, or is he going to be working against the TVA? And I think the leaks for Loki Season 2 actually make this make sense. In the trailer for Loki Season 2, we can actually see a scene where Mobius, Sylvie, and Loki are attacked by other members of the TVA. And according to the leaks, this is because an older Sylvie variant is actually in charge of the TVA and sending agents out into the multiverse to destroy all of the branch timelines that were created when she destroyed He Who Remains. And so essentially, you're having TVA on TVA violence in the Loki Season 2 trailer, and you'll have it in the show because either a separate TVA or part of the TVA is controlled by Sylvie and possibly Miss Minutes. Now, let's table the Miss Minutes thing for just a minute here, because I'm sure many of you are already asking yourselves another question about this, and that is, well, then what's up with Magneto? What's up with the 838 Illuminati? And if you didn't know, there were a lot of rumors suggesting that they're going to go to the 838 universe in Deadpool 3, and that Magneto will actually be in charge of the Illuminati, and you'll see members of the Illuminati that are replacing members that were killed in the Multiverse of Madness movie, and also seeking vengeance on the 616 universe. Very recently, it was reported that Emma Corrin is actually playing the evil twin sister of Charles Xavier in Deadpool 3, Cassandra Nova. And the way this was teased by Daniel Richtman was that this character would be seeking revenge, and he shared a gif of Charles Xavier. Days later, another leak was discovered that talked about Emma Emma Corrin in this film, and it said that she's going to play a very different or a very modified version of Cassandra Nova in the Deadpool 3 film. And that fact and some other things that I heard behind the scenes are making me believe that Emma Corrin's actually going to be on the Illuminati for 838, replacing Charles Xavier, and she's seeking vengeance because the 616 killed her brother. And again, that explains the very modified version, because that would never happen in Marvel Comics. She absolutely hates Charles Xavier in Marvel Comics and would probably be cheering for him being killed by Scarlet Witch. Now, I do want to say there's some conflicting reports here, because My Time to Shine Hello claims the 838 Illuminati are not in this film, but Alex Perez of the Cosmic Circus and others are heavily implying that they are. And just so we can get it out there, and because I think it's freaking awesome, let's talk about who the members of the Illuminati are likely to be in Deadpool 3. And again, take it with a grain of salt, because there were a ton of different members that were supposed to show up in Multiverse of Madness that didn't, because they changed it, because they changed things. But still, it's cool to have fun and speculate and talk about the leaks. I mean, I think it is. So first up, I think you're going to have Ian McKellen's Magneto as being the leader of this Illuminati. He's really the one that's replacing Charles here. But I think you'll also have Emma Corrin as his evil twin sister, Cassandra Nova, an incredibly powerful telepath, and she'll be on the Illuminati as well. I think you might even have Jessica Alba as Sue Storm, replacing her husband on the Illuminati, again, seeking vengeance for the death of her husband. It was rumored that Ben Affleck's Daredevil was also going to be on the Illuminati, and that Jennifer Garner as Elektra was going to be on the Illuminati as well. Apparently, they shot scenes with Jessica Alba months ago. I also think it's possible that Chiwetel Ejiofor as Mordo will also be on the Illuminati, because we don't see him actually die in Multiverse of Madness. Another person I wouldn't be surprised to see on the Illuminati roster is Maria Rambeau, played by Lashana Lynch, who would be the mother of Maria Rambeau, that same character we saw as Captain Marvel in Multiverse of Madness. And I know she gets smashed by that statue, but she's Captain Marvel, so I really don't think that would kill her. And also, I would be remiss if I didn't mention the rumored post-credit scene for The Marvels, which is said to show Monica Rambeau Photon from The Marvels going into the 838 universe and confronting her mother, Maria Rambeau, as Captain Marvel. And a lot of people speculate that is Captain Marvel from the 838 universe. And guys, the reason this makes the most sense is because the scoopers and insiders are teasing out different villains, talking about ones from the Fox universe and one familiar face from the MCU. And I think that familiar face, again, is Miss Minutes. I don't even think they're choosing the words familiar face because it's the face of a clock, and that's Miss Minutes. And part of this goes back to the original scoop by Jeff Snyder talking about Tara Strong being in the film and the movie being Deadpool versus the TVA. So go with me on this, okay? What I think you're going to have is Miss Minutes in 838 helping the Illuminati because they have shared interests. The Illuminati wants to seek vengeance on 616. Miss Minutes also probably looking for vengeance on 616, especially after Loki Season 2. At the end of Loki Season 1, Miss Minutes goes on some kind of a mission. She goes to Ravonna and then disappears into the multiverse. And in Loki Season 2, we can see her at the World Fair with Victor Timely and Ravonna. It seems like she's just helping another Kang variant. Maybe she's helping He Who Remains before he becomes He Who Remains. And because Loki is going to be trying to go through the timelines to stop Kang and to therefore stop Miss Minutes, it's very possible that at the end of Loki Season 2, Miss Minutes is kicked out of 616, perhaps even kicked out of the TVA, or she's working for a completely separate TVA. Either way, I think the way Loki Season 2 will end will be having Miss Minutes kicked out of the sacred timeline. And because Loki's from 616, it's very possible she's just seeking vengeance on 616 as well, maybe trying to destroy or disrupt that timeline so that she can try to do that thing again with getting to Victor timely. Maybe it's as simple as Miss Minutes escaping back into the multiverse and the TVA identifying that she's in 838. Maybe that's why the TVA recruits Deadpool and Logan and sends them into the 838 universe. Now, another big part of this whole thing is the fact that I believe this is the beginning of the multiversal war, the actual multiversal war that's going to lead to Secret Wars, the thing that He Who Remains was warning Sylvie and Loki would happen again if they killed him. And maybe what Miss Minutes is doing is going around and trying to just get that multiversal war to go a certain way as to give He Who Remains the best chance at coming back, at resurrection. I think whatever Miss Minutes actually is and whatever her goals are going to play into the Multiversal Saga in a big, big way. And I think we're going to get some answers in Loki Season 2, and I think we'll get even more answers in Deadpool 3. But I think those are the villains for Deadpool 3. I think it's Miss Minutes and the Illuminati from the 838 universe. Let me know what you think about this in the comment section below. Like the video if you liked it. And if you have any questions about anything we went over in this video or just anything nerdy in general, come on by the live streaming channel. We stream Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays.